Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines. For today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the map Dual Gap. Love it or I hate it. I felt it's been a little bit of time since I've casted a match on Dual Gap and felt that this one was definitely worth your time. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the West, ending with Team 2 in the East. Starting off with Team 1's southern side of the map, in the southern portion of the southern side, we have Ricales going first land as a UEF. He is in light oak tan. He is in 1100, and he is in the southern air slot. To his north is Flag and Sack at 10 going first land as a Cybern in forest green, the best color in all of Supreme Commanderdom. He is at 1500, and he is in the eco slot. In the naval slot here to his northeast is Hoshi Moshi going first land as another Cybern here for Team 1. He is a 1700, and he's in glow in the dark green, the highest ranked player on Team 1. To his north as a 1600 in emerald green is Robert going first land as a UEF. He is in the southern land slot on the northern side of their lineup. And to his west is the other land player for Team 1. It is Zoom going first land, second air as a UEF as well. He is a 1400 in ruby red, and again he is in the northern land slot, and Robert is in the southern land slot for Team 1. And in the northern air slot here for Team 1, it is Robo Danny going first land, second land probably, and then air all day. He is a Cybern as a 1400, again in orange to color orange. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 3 UEF, 3 Cyberns, which means there are no Seraphim, no Aeon for Team 1. In the southern side, on Team 2 side of the map, in the southern air slot, it is Right Guys going first land, second air. He is in Rust as an 1100. To his northeast, then Aeon here for Team 2 is Sleep Pride going first land. He is at 1500 in Royal Blue, and he is in the Eco slot. In Chevy Crimson to his north is Savigny. I think I'll call him Sav for short, going first land, second Navy. He is a 1900, the highest ranked player on Team 2 and in the game overall, and he is in the naval slot, obviously as indicated by the naval facility. To his north, we have the regal purple play of Blyademir, probably call him Bly for short, going first air. Very surprising because he is the southern land slot here for his team. And of course he is Seraphim, and he is a 1700. And already on the move to his west is the Imperial Great player of K240. He is an Aeon, and he is a 1400 in the northern land slot. And last but not least for Team 2 is Storm Shadow going first land, probably second and third air. He is a Cybern as a 1200 in Pac-Man yellow, and he is in the northern air slot. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 1 Seraphim, 2 Aeon, 2 Cyberns, and 1 UEF, which means Team 2 has access to all of the factions in the game. Team 1 only has access to Cybern and UEF. Let's take a little reclaim looking still on the map. We have for 6 players on each team, 12 players in total, 16,000 mass in reclaim, which means, of course, there's a little bit over 1,000 mass per player. And mass point layouts, well, everything is in their main bases except for a couple of mexes in the pond in the south, and of course the land mexes in the north. This map, especially with Setons tied into it, is one of the most played maps in all of Supreme Commanderdom. So this is another one of those maps that's very can be tuned to essentially a couple of seconds, where players have essentially, they can have okay, mechs this point, T2 this point, all of that kind of time down to two very specific times when they need to complete it. But sometimes other players throw a wrench into that and they have to change their plans. But is one of the reasons why we love this map is due to all of the nonsense that can happen, whether it be game enders, bunch of Navy, just the horde of ASF and bombers, whatever the case may be. We love to see all of the crazy shenanigans that can happen in Supreme Commander. This is one of those maps that definitely offers that to our players. We do have Zoom pushing forward against a decent amount of spam outbound from Vladimir's position here, spamming out the T1, not scouts, but they're the combat scouts, the Selens, essentially the mech marines of the Seraphim ranks. There's a bomber online going after said Selens. Those will be killed off. A couple of the trees get knocked down, unfortunately, in the pursuit of dealing with those units, but it does look like both of those have been dealt with. The middle mexes here definitely will be kind of in no man's land for the time being. Neither of the comms have started to push for this position as of right now. Both Robert and Zoom are on the western side, and K240 and Vladimir over here. But the first gun upgrade has started here. It's out from Team 1's Robert, going for gun damage and range on that UEF commander. And if Team 2 doesn't start to going for upgrades, it will side with Team 1. Team 2 going for a T2 upgrade. So being defensive on the eastern side for Team 2. Being a little bit more aggressive here for Team 1. In the naval side of things, it's the exact opposite. Team 2's Sav is pushing into Team 1's territory. We have Hoshimoshi trying to defend in the naval side, but doesn't have a lot of subs online, which means he's going to be kicked out, at least for the time being. He doesn't have to worry too much about a couple of subs, but of course, given enough time, he will be killed off. So has to be aware of it, but doesn't have to be super aware of it, kind of thing. And Right Guy saying getting 3v1'd in bottom air. I don't know what he means by. I guess we'll air, and of course air up there. T2 already online for Robo Danny before anybody else in the. Nope. The team 2 also has one in T2 air. It looks like the southern players on the both sides of the map a little bit slow for the upgrades. It looks like Team 2's Rad Guys just finishes theirs, and T2 about to finish here for Team 1. So Team 1 is essentially a little bit slower on the air upgrading, but of course they are dealing with some spam outbound from Team 2, and there are some transports as well, laden with some engineers to heavily drop on Team 1's front door. As I mentioned earlier, Hoshimoshi is being assailed by those subs, but looks like he got a couple of subs online in his backline facilities, able to shove those away. For the time being, looks like he's going to be fine, but of course we have to watch out because he could just be assassinated very quickly if things do not go his way. Team 1 Zoom has now secured the middle mexes in the north, starting to push on K240. K240 good building T2 PD. If Zoom doesn't narrow the gap, he will be forced back. So far, he has not. It looks like Team 1, again, being very aggressive with their commander of Robert here. He has the gun online. And Team 2's Bly actually just saying, I'm going to just leave it and call it a day. And he's going to go back to his main base. It's going to be a 2v1 scenario in the middle of the map. And you can see how the front line is collapsing just due to that one gun comm. The PD is online. Zoom will be forced to retreat, at least for a little bit. But the door has been opened by Team 1 to hook maneuver northward and intercept the comm of 240. So is it a loss in the north? Yes, but it is a victory in the south. So the net probably positive for Team 1 just because they're taking out Team 2's Bly. Bly still, of course, is retreating. Looks like he's going to build more facilities back here as a nice backline defense, but this position is going to fall. He didn't really put a lot of effort into trying to secure it, to be fair, so I don't know. I don't know. I feel like he could have put probably a little bit more effort with his commander. But that's just me. Anyway, a couple of units getting to the back line here. They will be stopped by the commander of Bly. He kind of just sits there and forces them back. But they're actually going to go north, go after his engineers who are building more facilities. And doesn't look like they'll kill off all those engineers before the facilities are done or they are killed off. T2 air being used by Team 1's a player of Rakalis, going after all of those engineers on the surface of the water, taking out the engineering prowess of Team 2, trying to deny a bunch of either torp launchers or AA. Torp bomber also online here for Team 1's Hoshimoshi, but he's also in, or at least, well, he's in the air game, but I don't see his T2 facility. Maybe he got transferred over by, it's getting transferred over by the eco player of Flag and Sackett. That would make more sense because he doesn't have an air facility online, but definitely is already online to T2, and he's going for Barracuda, so heavy subs for Team 1's air player. There are some counter torps coming online here for Team 2's northern air player of Storm Shadow. T3 probably should be started pretty soon here by Team 2. From both of the players, actually. They're kind of sitting idle for a little bit. And very much sub-focus for Team 2 as well. T2 Navy has been completed, but they are going to start going after destroyers. Subs have chased down the comm of Sav, but I don't think that's what's going to do as much damage as Team 1 is hoping for. It's mainly, again, just an annoying tactic, forcing Team 2 to pay attention to the comm a little bit, kind of shove their APM a little bit in a drawer or whatever and focus them on this versus whatever else is going on. Torp's also coming online, coming into range. Savini dropping into the yellow. He will make it onto land, and especially if when that destroyer comes on land, those torpedoes on board will be perfectly fine. Subs outbound from the land player to the north of Bly, so now 2 players in the Navy, already at T2 Navy. It looks like that Torp bomber is being assaulted by some interceptors here from Team 2, and it will drop. Did it drop any more torp? It did drop a little bit more torps. Savini dropping into the red, sub 1,500 hit points, but makes it out of dodge very luckily here. So it would have been the first casualty very early on, but luckily for him, he does make it alive. Danny Snipe says Flagon, and that is commenting by to Danny saying, hey, you should build up some T2 either Corsairs or Janus. We have Team 1's other air player of Recalus who could build that as well. But I feel like Team 1's going to be perfectly fine focusing on the naval, not the naval side of things. Well, the naval side of things. Bunch of torpedoes also outbound from Storm. Not from Storm. Yeah, from Storm, sorry, trying to counter anything that Team 1 is producing. The land game in the north starting to, again, continue to go in Team 1's direction. Team 2 kind of holding off a little bit, being very, very kind of just there. They're not really building a lot of units, building a lot of Team 1 spam, but not really going into T2. T2 Navy, T2 land is online back here, but we see some Corsairs outbound to go after Storm Shadow's commander. This could be the first kill of the game. Storm Shadow going to receive some Corsairs to the face, and there he goes. 11 minutes on the clock, and Team 1 scores the first kill, and it is going to be a 5v6 in favor of Team 1, or the Western team. Torpedo bombers trying to counter those Salems, and torpedo bombers also going after the Team 1 land facility. We'll take, Team 1 naval facility. But, of course, with true Seton's fashion, not faction, everything that Storm Shadow owned has been reduced to Rebel. Of course, players on Team 2 will scoop all of that reclaim up, and there are already engineers laden on a transport going to be delivered to the north for that eco player to scoop up. What's going on with this? Kind of a worthless snipe, says Flagon. I wouldn't say that. I mean, you killed off an air player, so that is definitely useful. Team 1 has T3 air online. Team 2 does not, but they're just about to. And Team 1 Southern air player not going for T3 air as of yet. And the other eco player focusing more on torp bombers and, of course, getting his eco up online. Torp bombers doing a very good job in holding off Team 2's advance in the naval side of things with only one facility online, surprisingly, for Sav. Focusing heavily on, of course, just that one facility. Should probably produce a couple more just to kind of spam up production. We see his partner to the north in the Navy here for Bly doing just that exact thing, going for spam facilities. Team 1 starting to get a nice little, of course, buffer zone, especially due to the fact they have destroyers and Barracuda online. And these facilities are being wiped out just due to the amount of bombers being pumped up by Team 1. Team 2 not really countering in the air. They're trying to do a little bit from some interceptors outbound from the naval player of Sav, but Team 2 is heavily being focused, or not focused, but forced back here by the air and naval prowess of Team 1. And again, Team 1, decent emphasis on subs. Looks like they've transferred over to more frigates and destroyers now, but it does help when, other naval units can't target you because you're below the surface of the water instead of above it. We could see a transition to T3 Navy very early here from either of these naval players, just due to the fact they need some bigger guns to play with. And there are some destroyers being donated by Bly so that Savvy can focus all of his energy on just macroing all of those units. Lots of interceptors online. The bombers from Team 1's Flagon just trying to hyper-focus on the destroyers. And looks like they're going to be dealt with pretty quickly. Cruiser is online now, so that will definitely deal with the rest of those air forces. And, I mean, again, Team 2 has been pushed all the way back to essentially their main base, giving Team 1 a lot of operating room to move around, get those other mexes online, get their main mexes online, jumpstart their ecos. Team 1 sitting at almost 600 mass income, Team 2 at 530. And we see that the mass extractors have been assassinated for K240. Team 1's Zoom going for a T2 upgrade, probably going to build some artillery and PD to secure that position in the north. And still, the Robert is still pushing in. Team 2 is, again, fighting back a little bit, but again, it's more of, I guess, a delaying tactic at this point. I don't know why, again, Bly retreated. He went to Navy, and Team 2 has lost at least the naval advantage for the time being. And on the land, trying to fight back. A lot of spam, to be fair, outbound from K240. This is a lot of spam. 160 Aurora are online. I could easily crush whatever Team 1 has on the northern side, even on the southern side. There's a couple of PD, but still, again, 100 plus Aurora are a ton to chew through, and K240 being very, again, very defensive. Looks like the attack does commence, and Team 1 will be heavily forced back, but I think the time for that, essentially all the way back to the main base is kind of past. There isn't really a lot online, but it is a lot of territory to get to, and without any infrastructure behind them, getting all the way over there, it's going to take a while, and especially due to the fact that K240 is just going to retreat anyways. One T2 PD is not going to be enough to force these Aurora back, but I guess for some reason for K240 it is. Anything in the interesting side on the southern side here for Team 1? Not so much. I don't see like early nukes or anything started here for Team 1. Team 2, is there any sort of thing going on for them? No, just T2 land. Mechs is being built. Don't really see much of anything else. The only interesting thing is that the eco player for Team 2 also has a T2 air facility. Probably just for transports, I would imagine, but also just a nice little thing to have. Corsairs outbound once again. They're trying to get a snipe on some mexes. They will get one of the two mexes, so again, better than nothing. Definitely worth the snipe in my opinion. Well, I don't know. The mass that's left by the Corsairs, I don't know if it's worth it, but they probably would have liked to get the other mechs as well, but unfortunately we're not able to. Team 2 has amassed a decent fleet now. Decent amount of destroyers with a couple of cruisers online to deal with the bombers overhead. And Team 1 still pushing in. Mexes were claimed once again, but the AA on board those cruisers from Team 1 be able to stop any sort of air scouting going on. Now we see TMLs on board those cruisers from Bly being used to target the land here for Robo, but he is of course going for some TMD to deal with that. And at this point, it would be smart to send the units in, target the TMD, and then have the missiles constantly rain in and assist with that. That would definitely crack this position. Unfortunately, again, both the land players for Team 2 just being very, very defensive. Team 1's just going to sit back, eco up, not really worry about a whole lot. And there's not really a lot of infrastructure here on the southern side for Team 1. So really, if all of these forces just go south and then west, they could crack this position quite easily. Especially if the Navy comes and assists with that. But the Navy, of course, is busy with dealing with the Navy from Team 1. And at 17.5 minutes, Team 1 almost at 1,000 mass income, so more than 150 mass per second for Team 1, which begs the question, what is Team 2 going to do to close the gap? They're going to build a quantum gateway. That would make sense, getting those RASCOMs online. SMDs also coming online. Team 1, are there any nukes that I'm missing? No, PGens. And that's about it. So I don't see any sort of big ticket items. Of course, it's always good to have SMDs, but if your opponent isn't going for nukes, this early, especially only 18 minutes in, it's kind of a little early. Could focus that mass on other endeavors. Maybe T3 Navy would be a good choice right now, just due to the fact they need a win in some field of war, whether that be air, naval, or land. Land's not looking good for them. Air's kind of just there and not there. Team 1's air player in the north not really focusing on air production. Looks like he's focusing more on eco. And Team 1's southern air player has some ASF, but Team 2 definitely have the advantage in that regard. So I just don't know what Team 2 is deciding to do with this. We will just have to wait and see. T2 Navy frontline facility also online. Still no spam facilities. They're going for an Atlantis. So the Team 2, no, sorry, not Team 2, but Team 2 is Cybern player of SAB going for Atlantis. Very interestingly. Again, another focus on a sub. I would have probably liked to see maybe a Tempest online. Would have eradicated everything that Team 1 had, especially due to the fact that these destroyers have some not TMD, but torpedo defense on board to deter at least some torpedoes. So the Atlantis will be counted a little bit, not a lot, but if you get enough torpedo defense capable ships, it essentially not necessarily nullifies the Atlantis, but makes it very ineffective, rather than the Tempest that has that giant cannon on the top that can fire and just annihilate ships. Probably a better bet for Team 2 would have been that, but at least they're skipping attack and going straight to experimental tech, which, I mean, is nice, but I feel like T3 would be a little bit better served for Team 2. One of the two players, whether it be Bly or Sab going T3, I think would be a little bit better, at least at this juncture. Titans online here for Team 1, gonna just rip apart all those Aurora. Team 2 waited too long to use the Aurora, and now Team 1 is gonna punish them for it. Facilities down and dusted once again. And now the naval prowess here from Team 2 coming in and knocking out Robert. I always want to say an E. Robert. Really hard to pronounce the O without saying an E. Of his frontline land facility. Looks like reclaiming already going on here to just try to grab as much mass as possible. The only comm on the front lines for either team is Team 1 Zoom. He's sitting underneath some shield coverage and just being perfectly fine in just his little, fire base, hanging out, not really worrying about a whole lot. Everybody else is either in the water or in their main base somewhere. And looks like the tide is starting to turn for Team 2 just due to the fact that they have two players in the Navy versus one. We do see, it looks like, counter Atlantis coming online here for Robert. So Atlantis v Atlantis soon going to materialize. First one has completed, second one has been started. And like I said, I feel like Tempest would be a little bit better to get, just due to the fact that that main line cannon on board that unit is a lot more useful, especially with that AoE spread and dealing with, especially when the units group up like this, you target maybe the middle of these, you probably kill both of those units just instantly. Nico, you better do something aggressive, says Bly. I'm probably talking to Sleep Pride. Sleep Pride going for a bunch of mass fabs. And, of course, the Rascoms. We could see maybe well, that's an I coming online, but we could see a Paragon maybe outbound from Team 2. That would definitely be something to watch out for, because that is the Aeon players. The Aeon could go for that. They could go for anything else because they have anything else to go for. But maybe just Paragon stick with the tech. The only downside with Paragon on a map like this is because so many people scale their ecos so very quickly. Paragon, it doesn't become pointless, but a nuke launcher, artillery, whether it be the Maver or the Scathus, be a little bit more useful. But of course, once the Paragon is built, then you build the Salvation, so it's kind of an artillery piece, but not really. I don't know, I just feel like Paragon might not be the best choice for Team 2. Probably more direct fire weapons or just long range weaponry like artillery would be a little bit better served. But in the north, a couple of Titans are being forced back by this T1 Aurora spam army that's been here for a while. Was that an artillery or was that a missile? That was an artillery piece. Okay, it looked like a missile. And this facility's still online for Team 1, surprisingly, but now that Atlantis has come to assist, and it's the lost city of Atlantis is fighting one another in sub form. Direct fire weapons from these subs, so these, the laser weaponry, able to deal with a ton of the engineers very, very quickly. And now we can see the subs, again, starting to be countered a little bit by the torpedo defense. Some of them do break through, of course, but not all of them reach their targets. Torp bombers online for Team 1, starting to target the Atlantis from Team 2. And now it's, again, Atlantis B, Atlantis in the water. Let's get a nice little screenshot, nice little look at this. It's being forced back, you see, by Team 1. The torpedo defense providing very much a defensive measure, while the Atlantis on the northern side deals with all the other ships. And you can see the hit point differential. Some of the destroyers are being destroyed, to be fair, but the amount of time it's taking for one Atlantis to take out a couple of destroyers is a lot less than it, a lot more than it should be, given the fact that, of course, there are some torpedo defense online. This sub has emerged, and its anti-air weaponry is on full display. Now, the other ships from the Navy on Team 2 can target it directly. Unfortunately, it's all missiles at this point, which, if the ships don't move, is great for them, but if they do move, it's not really great for them. You see some ASF and Janus coming online here for Team 1, targeting that Atlantis, still underneath the surface of the water, but it's still there. And that Atlantis does resubmerge, wanting to make sure it's protected from any sort of, again, artillery pieces on board, any sort of naval vessels. And it's really just AA and missiles for Team 2. This Atlantis is almost down 7,000 hit points, less than that remain. And the cruiser's actually doing a very good job of using the fact that Team 1 is not really moving their forces to be able to deal with those cruisers specifically. They have it looked like they had TMD online, but they have, looks like Missile Direct is what it looked like for a second there. I don't think it is, but that's what it looked like. Torpedo bombers coming after those cruisers once again, or they're targeting the sub, but it looks like they targeted the cruiser specifically. Another player on Team 2 going for air. That is the Eco player. But we now have two players once again on Team 2 going for air. Team 1, of course, still has those two air players, the main air players, and then they, of course, have their assistant of Flag and Sackett going for a couple of air scouts, a couple of torp bombers, giving those over to somebody else to micro. And now a second Atlantis has appeared for both teams. This one has dropped into the yellow, this one full health. And Team 2 just doesn't have, again, the weaponry that they need to deal with this. That's why I said the Tempest would be a little better. And they are now producing it. Team 2's K240 going for Tempest. So we're going to have both of the naval experimentals online here pretty shortly, if I can speak. But the torpedoes on board the first Atlantis, focusing on, looks like the Mechs first. And there are no torpedo defenses for the Atlantis, very surprisingly. And you would think there would be, because it's heavily torpedo capable, but apparently not. And there are some torp bombers online as well coming out from Team 2 as Brygeist has slowed this push from those Atlantises. And at 25 minutes on the clock, let's take a look at the game overall. Team 1, 6 players left. Team 2 at 5 players left. Both teams producing roughly the same amount of mass, 1.8k versus 1.8k. Say it's slight advantage to Team 1 just barely, but not by much. I'd say Team 1 owns about 55-60% of the map. Team 2 about a little bit less than that. Team 2 is focused a little bit more on the torpedo-capable ships in the Atlantis, same as Team 1. Unfortunately for Team 2, they don't really have a lot of destroyers, artillery, battleships, all of that, to really focus on all the other ships from Team 1. But they have killed off an Atlantis, so that is something better than nothing. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win. We have some upgrades being done in the bay over here. Tactical Nuke, or the Billy Nuke, is coming online here for Team 1's Robert. And the last remaining player in the game to not be in their main base or under the water is fled the front lines. He's going to hide in the water. But, of course, let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win. Please, if you haven't done so already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you so very, very much. I really, really do appreciate all the time and attention you give to my videos. So, again, just a shout-out to every single one of you. And let's get back on to the action. Tempest has been completed by Team 2. Now we see the two naval experimentals online. And it's really going to do a huge number on Team 1's defenses. They probably need to get, I don't know, they probably need to get maybe battleships online or something. T3 is online for Hosimoshi. Team 2, no one's at T3. We even see another player on Team 2 going for naval, and that is Brygeist. He is UEF, so he has the cruisers that are capable of launching missiles. And I don't know where this Tempest is going, but you're going the wrong way, sir. You can't just storm your way through some T1 naval facilities. Hover tech being deployed to be able to deal with deal with the torps that they're not targeted, and 2, deal with all of the other ships online. And all the missile-capable cruisers online for Team 2, being very effective at just targeting all of the units that are just sitting here. TMD needs to be built immediately to be able to deal with this. The T2 frontline naval facility will come crashing down here pretty shortly. It's going to die right about now just due to the spam of tactical missiles. There are some torque bombers online. 3 Atlantis versus 3 Atlantis. This one repping back up. It was in the severe red, 6,000 hit points. Actually, both of these are actually in the yellow. That one's perfectly fine. Team 2 trying to fight back in the land slot. Fat Boy versus Colossus. Only going to go one way if that Colossus gets in range. Percy's are online as well. Team 2, again, I still don't understand why they had such a huge advantage for a time being. They're just not necessarily letting it go, but not using it to the fullest extent they can. The Colossus has caught up to the Fat Boy, and that Fat Boy will die. 1 PD is not going to be enough. A decent more back here are going to decently be enough. But the Colossus has fallen pretty close to the red. Fat Boy is now in Team 1's territory most handedly, and that Colossus gains some veterancy. Turns around and deals with the other 2 Percy's there, and Ravagers open fire. Almost killed off that Colossus. It's at 22,000 hit points, and it will go back to base to rep up. Mavor has been spotted here by Team 2. As being started construction here by the Siren player of Flag and Second, and he's going for a telemaser as well. Again, the danger, of course, with being in sentence as it is there's no sharing. So if he dies, all of the stuff he built goes up in smoke. Has to be very, very careful about how he uses that comm. What he probably wants to do is build it while he has the energy and mass to use it, and then send it over. Because what happens sometimes is Siren players build it after they lose most of their stuff, and so it takes a while to get up to that point. So maybe that's what he's thinking, but I can't read people's minds, so I can't really know that for sure, especially with the match that already happened. So I can't, like, after the fact, read someone's mind that happened in the past. I don't know what that would be called, where you could read somebody's mind when they from the future. I don't know how that works. Anyway. Tempest under construction on the front line as well here for Team 2 Sav. Looks like that's the only one that's being constructed now. The only one that was constructed so far by Team 2's K240. But 5 Atlantis in the water here for Team 2. They're not going for any destroyers. They're going for a ton of missile spam and sub spam. And that sub spam is in the way of these giant torpedo-looking subs. I find it funny that the Atlantis are just essentially they're giant versions of a torpedo, especially with the way the fins and the engines are designed. It looks very similar to that. Missiles are raining in long range. I do love the strategy, at least in terms of the long range. Would love to see destroyers, battleships, even just frigates, literally anything to block Team 1's artillery on board their their battleships, their destroyers, all of that from getting to the cruisers. But a lot of TMD has been built. The buzzkills aren't really the best ones, but of course when you spam anything, it does eventually work. But here come those Atlantises into range of all the TMD. Team 1's naval fleet are collapsing. T3 battleships are coming online, but it's going to take a minute to get there. It will be knocked out, I think, before even one comes off the line. And Team 1's Robert has now, been forced to vacate the premises here on the land with the Tempest online, taking out all the defenses here for him. And how did that Colossus get to? Just going to sit there and wrap up back to 23,000. Team 1 trying to hold the position. Another Fat Boy coming online. The old one has been reclaimed. Team 2 in the east going for that Paragon that I mentioned. That might be a thing. Almost about to halfway done with that. Satellite over top. Going to start targeting probably the mass Fat farms, I would not imagine. That's definitely an easy target to go after. The Atlantis is crashing on top of one another. And again, there's a ton of missile spam. Being able to use the direct fire ability to be able to AoE spread on top of those Atlantis is definitely very useful. Look at all these missiles just constantly being spammed up. Team 1 is still being forced back again. It's now 4v4, but some of these are completely nullified due to the fact that a lot of their hit points are gone. This one is done and dusted as well. The Salem class have two advantages. They have the the torpedo defense and the torpedoes on board. Reclaiming efforts from engineers being used to decrease the hit points on board that Atlantis. That is huge for Team 1. The other Atlantis over here gets killed up by a ton of everything, torp bombers and the like. Cruisers actually moving into range to deal with all of the air surrounding this. But both of the Atlantises are down. The last remaining two. Team 1 still holds on to a couple of them. Missile launchers coming in and taking out at least one of them. Look at the hit points just get destroyed by the AoE spread from those missiles. And Team 1 is left with essentially one and some change. But Summit class battleship online should start targeting all of those cruisers, and now the Tempest coming into range. The other Tempest in the north joining them. ASF fight over the top here for Team 1 and Team 2. Counter torp bombers landing here for Team 2's Right Guys. Looks like Team 1 might have lost air control. Yes, they have. It is now air dominance here for Team 2. Torp bombers to the north. Will they reach their targets? I think one or two of them will, but it will not do the damage they were expecting against that Tempest. Team 1 has lost Navy most handedly. They got a battleship constructed, but I don't know if they'll get another one, just due to the raw power of all of those cruisers being spammed up. Another Tempest online, another one under construction. Paragon is almost in the green. How is that Mavor doing? It's in the yellow, so taking a while to build that thing. Team 1 needs to find a way to destroy that before Team 2 starts spamming out the everything out of their bases. Let's see how it goes. Yep, it is in the green. And will Team 1's Flagon second just teleport over there? He has Telemazer online. I wonder where that transport. It looks like transport order given southward. Team D being built by Zoom to defend against all of the missile spam from those cruisers from Team 2. ASS being very aggressive at taking everything out. Neptune online here for Team 1. And there goes the T3 Naval Headquarters just annihilated there. They got a Tempest. They got a battleship and that. But Team 2's... Oh, it was the P-Gens. Oh, that sucks. So Team 2, there goes the Paragon. Oh, that's rough. The satellite looks like took out the player of Sleep Pride. I'll probably replay the replay and then go to this point and figure out exactly what happened. So at the end of the video, there'll be a cut for what happened exactly. So expect that. But what I'm assuming is that the satellite took out some P-Gens or some mass fabs, got some chain reaction going, and then killed it off. Nice telebilly. Oh no, maybe not. He got sniped by telebilly, dude. Oh, so maybe not. Maybe I don't have to cut that. Looks like that was from Robert. Got a snipe on Team 2's Sleep Pride. Okay, honestly, I'll put that in the video still because that's pretty cool. It wasn't a satellite thing. It was a billy nuke. That would explain the two explosions. That would make more sense. But Team 2 loses their Paragon. Tactical missile started here for Rye Guys. That's got to hurt. But Team 2 is in the lead for the Navy. 1, 2, 3, 4 Tempests online. Bunch of cruisers. The 5th Tempest being built very, very, very far forward to reduce travel time. Team 1's Mavor is almost in the green. This is huge for Team 1. If they can keep that online, I don't know if they win the game, but they most definitely have a huge advantage. No pun intended there, of course. Looks like there's just more mass fabs being built to the north. And more satellites being built by Team 1's Robert, going for, again, satellite warfare. Team 2 not really going for that way. They're going for other means of production. Looks like they might go for it, sitting right here. Decent amount of mass to grab from all of those Rascoms that were destroyed. And up here to the north, the air grid taken out. I'm assuming by... Well, it looks like... No, that's the explosion from the comm, so it looks like it's just from something else, maybe. Navy still just being oppressive here for Team 1, but bombers are online and gunships as well. Team 2's air moving in. Tons of T2 Stingers coming online. I don't like the Stingers. Those of you who have watched my videos before, they know that, of course, Stingers are not my favorite T2 gunship in the game. Even though I am a UEF main, and I like most things UEF, the Stinger is not one of them. The second Tempest is perfectly fine. It's still in the yellow, so still have half of its hit points, but can still do 100% of the damage. All of the Tempests have fled. All of the Atlantises have fled. Atlantises? I think it's Atlantises. Billy Nuke outbound. Ooh, will it hit much of anything? I don't know. But Billy Nuke is outbound. I don't think it's going to hit anything, unfortunately, here for Team 1's. And it actually gets shot down by TMD from these cruisers. I even forgot they had TMD, so that gets nullified really, really quickly. Tempest able to fire over the top and target that mech's. Nice shot from that Tempest and went all the way over the little hillock here and annihilated that T3 mechs. That has got to hurt. Team 1's air moving in to intercept. Looks like cruisers doing the spam once again, but these Atlantises are above the water, which means they can be targeted quite easily. ASF's starting to move into range. Not a good idea there. And it looks like the SACUs were transported over there. This position up top has been destroyed. And still trying to ground fire on that Atlantis. Atlantis trying to do its job to just distract as much as possible. And the Mavor has been constructed and is now going to start targeting Team 2's. I would assume air grid would be the main thing first, and then target. I don't know what to target next. Maybe the emissary is very weirdly placed right there. Nuke online here for Team 2 loading. Maybe that'd be a good target to go after as well. But I'd say the air grid and then definitely the nuke, one after the other. Atlantis is going to re-submerge and move in to intercept all of those forces moving in. Gunships sitting in the water, just kind of hanging out next to all those cruisers. Probably should move those so they're not hit by any stray shots from, well, anything. And of course the direct, the attack ping has been issued. The attack order doing tons of damage to all of those Atlantis. Killed two of them off almost instantly. Gunships moving in to assist. And gunships taking out the TMD. ASFs moving in to deal with all of those gunships actually just being annihilated by all of those ASFs. Don't really get much any work out of them, especially with the cruisers starting to take a couple hits here from Team 1. But 3 Atlantises are now down versus 3 Tempests. And there are a Colossus being constructed by Team 2. Love to see that. They're going to throw it over there. Billy Nuke lands on top of a comm here from Team 1. At least that's what it looks like. Where is that comm? If that's it just left. He was over there. He left. He was over there. Teleports all the way back over here. Not sexy. That's flagging. Where's Robert? Where did he teleport? I don't see him. Another Billy Nuke lands. At least that's what it sounds like. Or SACU explodes. SACU explodes. Colossus has made landfall. That's actually the second one, it looks like. Going to do devastating damage to Team 1's Southern Air player. And there's really no defenses online. Ravagers being spammed up. Corsairs being spammed up. Monkeys being spammed up. ASFs moving in to secure the skies above it. And this is going to be devastating. Rare Hawks will be destroyed. I'm probably not saying his name right. And there goes all of his ASF, all of his structures. They're done and dusted. And Flag in second builds a Colossus. Building experimental. It is the Monkey. Second Colossus is inbound. Love this beachhead that Team 2 is forming here in the west inside of the pond here. There go all those Ravagers destroyed. Colossus is in the yellow, so it will be killed off by that Monkey, but the second one will be coming here pretty shortly. One Tempest is down, one Atlantis is down. It's a 1v1 game here in terms of those experimentals. Monkey is opening fire, will kill off that Colossus, unfortunately for it, but will do a decent number to the Monkey. The Monkey will gain some veteran. Actually, will not gain enough veterancy to get a 1 star, but almost there. Missiles still raining in. The shields are starting to collapse here for Team 1's Hoshi Moshi. And the torpedoes on board those Atlantis doing a decent amount of work against the Tempest. Unfortunately, the Tempest do have TD, torpedo defense, or torp defense. I probably should say torp defense. Bombers over the top target the Mavor, but they don't get it due to the shield shield SACU. And Guys makes a comment about it. Artillery will stay online. How much damage has it done to Team 2? Not as much as I would expect. Artillery actually targeting the naval player here. Probably should take out the air player. More satellites over the top as well here for Team 1's Robert. Has 3 of them now, at least over here. Looks like the nuke was the main target. That was eliminated, so... Okay, fair, but probably could take out the air. Give you a little bit of advantage, especially with having an air player be killed off. Another Tempest has been destroyed, and another Atlantis has been destroyed. Colossus makes landfall, and more Revenants over top targeting the remaining Tempest. Lots of AA. Those are not going to survive very much longer. The Colossus being reclaimed by all of those hives. Where is the monkeys? Monkeys are intercepting as we speak. Shields are down. Perfect time for the Tempest to AoE attack all of this. Actually going to attack the SACU preset. Definitely not the best idea there. The Colossus targeting the hives. And dual Monkey Lords. The Colossus will die on top of a couple of T3 Mexes. Get a little bit of collateral there, but still not really going to feel good. Another Tempest online. Another one in almost in the green. There go those Mexes and a couple of SACUs. Some frigates get into the backline targeting TMD. Cormorant class fort bombers moving in to deal with those. The Mavor is still alive. Team 1's building another. They're going to have 2 Mavors here pretty shortly. Team 2 needs to deal with, if that second one comes online and is allowed to live for a decent amount of time, that's it. There's nothing that Team 2 can do against that except kill both of them off. Satellites focusing the Pigeons, of course, trying to get a nice little AoE cascade going on. I don't see much anything out from Team 2 that can really fight dual Mavors. Another SACU blows up. And the last remaining Tempest, at least the original group, has been destroyed. 2 Tempests still online for Team 2. Lots of mass in the bay. How much mass is there? We're talking about 500,000 mass is online, in the form of a reclaim. And this firebase here for Team 1 Zoom being very annoying. All the units from Team 2 have to go around it, trying to get into the beachhead / the main line for Team 1's southern land flare. Main line actually is over. Yeah, southern land flare, not north. Another SACU blows up. Looks like it's actually no, that's a Billy Nuke. That's the comma of Rye Guys being not Rye Guys being Robert, just being very, very annoying for Team 2 to deal with. Shoots a Billy Nuke off, goes back home, builds another Billy Nuke, teleports out once again, being very, very hop, skip, and a jump here. Being very, very annoying for Team 2 to deal with. More Colossus moving in. The monkeys have been dealt with, but there are a bunch of spam T2 PD being built. Again, Tickle Cannons might be able to deal with one of the Colossus. I don't know if they'll be able to deal with the other one. And Team 1 needs more assistance down here. Either it's Strat Bombers, Gunships, whatever the case may be. ASF come in, target those gunships here from Team 1 to protect their investment in the Colossus game. Third one coming online, so it doesn't even matter if that one dies. There's still going to be 2 of them. Tickle Cannons are not going to be enough to deal with that Colossus. Even if they were, there's still another one coming in close. Team 1 has air control. At least, yeah, they have air control most definitely. I probably would say dominance maybe, but still can't find anything on the ground. Dealing with Tempest to the northeast and dealing with Colossus to the southeast. Teleporter has been started here for Hosty Moshi. Where's Flag and Sackett? He's hanging out with his Telemaser commander. No, not really worrying about another thing. Mavor almost constructed, so we might see 2 Mavors side by side. Not necessarily side by side. Teleportation is outbound. Our attacks have already been started here by Zoom to go after that teleportation that's going on. I think that's from, I don't know what that's from. Maybe, that's not a Telemaser, is it? I feel like the Telemaser would be a little too close for that. T1 PD being built literally right on top of this position. More of it being built right here, it looks like. Tempest is going to come into range here pretty shortly, and another Colossus. Oh, those are SACUs. Instantly going to be annihilated. Look at that. Look at all that attack. Targeting that Mavor might do enough damage, especially with the AoE spread on board those support commanders with their deaths. Oh, it's going to be enough. The Mavor is down. Was the other one online? Ah, the other one just barely popped on. Well, barely pop online, so Team 1 almost had 2 simultaneous Mavors online. Black and Sackett moving around very aggressively, though. Doesn't have cloaking, has teleporter, and unfortunately for him, that Colossus is going after him, and he will be lasered in the face. just as he lays at those other 2 Colossus, and Team 1 loses another player, and their naval player has been knocked out, so essentially they've lost 3 players on Team 1 side of the map. It's now technically still 4v4, but really 3v4 in favor of Team 2, realistically. Satellites over top, taking out all of the remaining structures here for Vladimir. This is supposedly K240 playing. No way, says Flagon. Don't know if that's how good he is or how bad he is. Don't know what that's in reference to. Oh, Atlantis just gets sniped there by that Tempest. And there's still only 1 online. Looks like he's going to get killed off right there. Never mind. New one will replace it. Colossus now going to be roaming the map here for Team 2. Love that play here, using the land to their advantage. Using the water to hide the Colossus and using that to their advantage. This base will be destroyed, unfortunately, for Team 1's Robert. There's nothing that they can do to save it. 44 minutes almost on the clock. 3 GC, says Flagon. Mavor shots targeting the air grid. There goes the shields. There's just not enough to shield all of that incoming firepower. Another shot should be outbound. Here it goes. Will it impact the air grid and kill it all off? Yes, it does. Takes out a chunk of it. A couple more of those shots, and there goes the rest of that air grid. Team 1 does still have air control, to be fair, but I mean, the Navy is definitely the issue here. We see, of course, the Colossus going after a decent amount of kills there with the... Oh, another Pigeon gets annihilated there. That's one of the reasons you don't go for E-storages like that, because they are also volatile, so they just explode everything. Engineer's going to be killed off in the explosion. There they go. Another Pigeon also going down. Satellites over top trying to act as defense satellites like their namesake says. 1 satellite down, another satellite down. 3rd satellite going to go down. 4th satellite also going to go down. And this entire base for Robert has been annihilated. Team 1 with 2 Mavers almost simultaneously being destroyed in Navy. That's just partly due to the emphasis that Team 2 put on cruisers and Tempest. I didn't understand the play, but... Oh, and Atlantis, by the way. But, didn't understand the play, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's going to deal with that 1 Colossus, but there's still 2 more on the way here. And Robert building probably another tactical Billy Nuke. And the cruiser is going to come in and airlock Team 1, or at least prevent them from leaving from the southern side of their little landmass over here. Looks like there was a stealth field generator, but they've canceled that. Starting stealth says Hoshimeshi stealth going for nano, so trying to build a teleporter, I would assume. And I just don't know if this is going to really work out for Team 1. Team 1's Robert definitely got a nice kill on Sleep Pride, but couldn't really make that materialize into anything else, unfortunately. They did kill Storm Shadow very early on, but again, I don't know. I don't know if that was the best idea or not. Colossus being annihilated by whalers. We have, of course, cruisers coming in, annihilating the cormorants that come in to try to take them out. Harms being just slowly creeped up on those cruisers here by Team 1's Robo Danny. And Robert going to teleport once again. Where is he? Where's he going? He's going right here. Why is he going right there? Where are you going? Oh, is he don't have enough engineering support maybe? I don't know. But that's very weird that he would just teleport right there. Don't know. Maybe he just wanted to get out of the water and be safe and not really worry about anything. I don't know, but very, 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 very weird. Colossus still going to push that front line. TMD need to be built immediately. Ravagers being spammed up here on the west by Zoom. And Zoom still has a couple of T2 Mechs in the middle. That should easily be taken care of here by Team 2. But more Colossus inbound. Fatboy has retreated from its base and trying to come in and assist. There's another Colossus. It's going to poke its head into the water so it's protected. Colossus just sitting there going after some mass fabricators. That's going to kill off that one. Shields are still online. Team 2 is going to win this game so far. At least that's how it looks with Colossus and Tempests. While Team 1 has 2 Mavors, one after the other. And missile... of course, missile launcher capable cruisers. That's the other thing. Cloaking has been started here by Hosimoshi. So probably going for the cloaking laser comm. I mean, I don't know what Team 1 goes after at this point. Team 2 has lost... Sorry, T2 has gained so much territory on Team 1. I don't even know if it's going to be enough. The Mavor is still online, but all it's going to take is just a couple of bombers to come in and annihilate this. There's not enough shield coverage around this Mavor. and not enough PD, in my opinion, especially with the constant emphasis on those Colossus. Cruisers need to be targeted first. You target the things that can shoot at you first and target everything else. This is my comm to finish Billy 1 sec, says Robert. Looks like they're building more P-gens underneath shield coverage. Looks like Team 2's right, guys, needs some more energy. But the facilities here for Team 2's K240 are being the main target. I feel like I don't know what the thinking is for Team 1. There's just so many engineers, so much AA, so much everything here for Team 2 that you really just got to go for calm assassinations at this point. Probably the best bet would be go to after Zav, and then maybe after that go for the great player of K240, kill off most of the naval, and then you'll be able to breathe a little bit easily. But 4 Colossus bearing down on Team 1's doorstep. Have they built enough Ravagers? I do not know. Or PD or anything. Definitely not enough shields, that's for sure. Those Colossus are stomping in to the last bastion of Team 1. More Ravagers, layered defenses here for Team 1. Definitely a good strategy here. But there's just so many hit points to chew through. There they go. They're opening fire. Hoshimoshi Control K, seeing that the game is over for him. Tried to build that cloaking laser commander, I would assume, but just can't get anywhere with it. The Ravagers constantly open fire. Thousands upon thousands of hit points are down. One of those 4 Colossus are down. T1 Zui spam outbound also from Bly. And the laser focusing on the P-gen, starting to get a nice AoE explosion on all of those defenses. And those shields are collapsing. There are some bubble shields online here for Team 1. Secondary shield pops back online. And another line of PD are down. Another line of PD are down. Not looking good here for Team 1's last remaining Mavor. Robert building that Billy Nuke. 23 kills on board that commander, 12,000 mass killed. More PD up here. Kills off that Colossus. Team 2 still has 1 in the tank. It's about 50% of its hit points, a little more than that. Targeting the comm of Zoom. If Zoom is defeated, that's going to be it for that Mavor. Not Mavor. For, no, that is the Mavor. Yeah. Team 1 has lost their remaining Mavor, and the SACUs race forward to try to deal some damage to that Galactic Colossus Robot control case as well. It is over for Team 1. The last remaining player is Robo Danny over here to the west, just hiding with his harms. At this point, I'm going to speed it up. Look at this. Just it looked like Team 1 was going to win the game, especially when they got that kill on Sleep Pride, but this couldn't materialize anything from it. They got a Mavor, but just had to watch out for the land incursion by those Colossus. Harms targeting the comm of Robo specific, not Harms, but Tempest targeting the comm of Robo Danny specifically. Bombers over the top taking out all of the TMD. I think Robo Danny, oh, looks like Robo Danny did take a shot. Let's see. He's also being shot at by Torps as well. Laser coming in trying to ground fire the commander. That's not really going to work. He's perfectly fine. The Tempest was defeated by the Harms. And those Colossus are walking towards him. It's not going to look good there, Robo. He's still alive. 2,000 hit points and climbing. But look at all those Colossus. The missiles are inbound. It's only a matter of time before he is defeated. He's making the game go on a lot longer than it really needs to. And there goes the attack order around that comm. Still, he's too deep. You need Torp capable, subs or whatever the case may be. There he goes due to torpedo bomber fire. Kills off a ton of Zui in the process, and that is it. Team 1 loses the game. Team 2 wins it with 4 of their players remaining. MVP, honestly, MVP goes to... I think Sav might get MVP because of the huge emphasis on the Colossus. If the Colossus weren't built, Team 1 would have been fine for a long time. Because the Colossus came on land, they took out 2 bases down here in the south. Took out these 2 bases and that one as well. So 5 of the 6 bases were eliminated by Colossus. And I feel like Sav gets the victory or the MVP award for that. But let me know down in the comments what you felt about the game and the MVP choice. thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, share this video with anyone, everyone, especially your pets. And I will see all of you in the next one. But of course, don't forget, I am going to cut to Sleep Pride's death. Okay, so we are back to Robert's first teleportation. He's going to the other side of the map. And I'm trying to figure out where he went. Actually, hold on. Let's pause for a brief second. Robert. I can't look for the... Oh, he's actually... Excuse me. He's actually down here. Whoa, that's a... Did not... You could stand there. That's interesting. Do not know why he's standing... Or why he went there. He could have easily just... Where is he going? Okay, so he's teleporting back. Speed it back up because he's... Okay, now he's going to teleport over there. So he's going to teleport to the southeastern corner of the map. Definitely makes sense. He's going to stand on top of the side of the cliff, which is very, very interesting. He gets all the way over. Did not know you could stand here, by the way. Did not know you could do that. So he teleports over. We'll see him over here. And he's going to immediately launch that missile. Launches the missile. And it's going straight for the... Straight for Sleep Pride. We have his laser, his defense satellite, targeting the shield. And it hits right there. Is able to hit the mass fab, and everything goes up in smoke there. A nice 1-2 punch there. Dang. That was a great place, and he's already... he already loaded? I think he already teleported out of there, right? Yeah, he already teleported out of there. He's already safe. But again, let me know down in the comments what you felt about the match. Great snipe there by Robert. Did not know you could stand randomly here. But apparently you could also stand on top of there. And it probably has something to do with the arc, I guess, of the missile. So it's able to actually get over the edge of that where he's not up here. But again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate all the time and attention you give the video. And I will see all of you in the next one.